Hi, this is Lawrence Morris, Membership Chair of the Patriots Path Council. Today, I'll be taking you through how to recruit Cub Scouts. This is an overview of what we'll be discussing. So let's get right into it. The objective and strategy. So as many of you know, Cub Scouts was negatively affected by COVID, and we saw some declines in membership. The good news, though, is that we've been able to start turning that around. But since we want to grow our program even more, we want to drive a strategy that's going to do that, right? So how are we going to do that? Well, we want to focus on recruiting lions and tigers to help open, if you will, the funnel of our program. Right now, the funnel's kind of tapered. We want to widen it. We want to get more lions and tigers into the program. And as a result of that, hopefully then Scouts BSA and then venturing will benefit as a result. But first things first, does your unit have a new member coordinator? If yes, hey, you're one step ahead of the game, right? Just make sure that person is trained, they're attending district and council training events so they stay up on all the latest and greatest news. But if not, you need to find a person to take point on recruiting, right? Because if you're the Cub Master, if you're the committee chair, it's like another thing you don't want to be doing. So find that person. Ideally, you want to find that person before the recruiting season starts, which for a lot of units is traditionally back to school. And again, ideally, this person is someone that's personable, is a good listener, and is driven to make that sale for your unit. So why focus on those lions and tigers? Well, we found through feedback from different units that they're easier to reach and recruit. Daycare centers are very receptive to Scouts, build a relationship with them. Parents and kindergartners of those first graders are willing to try new activities. They basically want to try everything. Lions cost less, right? So you don't have to buy the uniform, you're just buying a t-shirt. Den meetings are typically short and fun, perfect for busy parents. And that the Lion and Tiger program are going to help next year's recruitment, right? Because parents, if you have a good time, they're going to talk up your program and hopefully not only help with lions and tigers, but also wolves. So in terms of your recruiting event, you need to find something that's buzzworthy, right? Put yourself in the shoes of a kindergarten or first grader. What would you want to do? What would you want to see? There are a lot of great ideas that units have used, and in the appendix, we've listed out some of those things to help jumpstart your imagination. But I would ask your current lions and tigers, what do they think would be cool to them? Don't be afraid to spend some money on putting on an awesome event. If you get a great turnout and it translates into increased membership, that was worth it. Ultimately, you want to have the perspective of your youth so that they know they can inform you what is it going to be to get them really excited and, if you will, pester their parents to go. Okay, so now you've determined your event, right? Now you need to create awareness. Your target audience is not necessarily those kids, but their parents, right? So kind of working our way around clockwise, use social media, whether it be unpaid or paid advertising. Post up flyers all over to your community, right? You know where these parents are going. So whether it's places of worship, restaurants, the barbershop, so on and so forth, get up your flyer there. Use public relations, old school newspaper post, right? Or other things to help spread the word, help amplify your message. Signage, I know it's kind of old school, right? But it's very effective. If you get a ton of banners up or lawn signs, wow, all of a sudden you've built a presence in your community overnight. And last, but definitely not least, the most effective tactic that many units have found is simply word of mouth, which is a fancy way of saying, basically use your existing scouts and make them your recruiters, help them spread the word to their friends about this awesome event you've planned. But as I say here, don't rely on just one tactic. You want to use a number of these things to generate awareness. And then it's about putting your best foot forward, right? So you've got an awesome event, you've built up awareness. Now don't ruin it with a poorly run event. So really think through that event. Make sure you've got everything planned. Everyone knows who's doing what, right? So you have designated greeters, a check-in station, maybe an area for people to answer questions, maybe ask some parents to kind of provide the non-scout leader perspective in terms of like what the real deal is about the unit itself. Practical things like having a sign-up sheet or a laptop to capture contact information. Obviously, you want to provide key information about your pack, what you're doing, how much does it cost to join, so on and so forth. A big thing here, which I have bolded, start and end on time. There's nothing worse than an event that keeps going on and on. Even if kids are having a great time, as you know, parents may have other things scheduled to occur right after it. So make sure you end on time and be respectful. And then lastly, close the deal. Get those, if those kids that came to your event had a good time, get them signed up. Be prepared to accept credit cards, Venmo, whatever it is, right? So that you can make the sale, that proverbial sale, right then and there. If you don't make the sale right then and there, you got to follow up, right? So be aggressive with it. I list out kind of like a timeline, if you will, and it kind of borders on maybe being a little obsessive, but what I found is that if you continue to follow up, right, and continue to invite youth to additional events, you're more likely not to be successful in terms of getting that youth to join your unit. And then do it again, right? So if you don't have to do just one event, do two events. And in fact, if you've got quote unquote fun pack or den meetings, right, where you're going to be doing something really cool, use that as, if you will, as a micro recruiting event. Always remind your scouts, if you have those types of things coming out, to invite their friends, so that recruiting becomes not just a once a year or twice a year, but really a continuous recruiting effort. Some tips of advice: there's a lot of great material, content, other suggestions online. You can see the link there. In terms of the fall, try to schedule the activity early in the school year, just as things are getting going. You don't want to do it too late when kind of like the routine begins, right? You want to be in the mix right up front. If you don't get a good turnout, consider, as I mentioned, kind of that continuous recruitment or dynamic recruiting, which is you're doing it on a regular basis, always reminding your scouts to invite their friends to activities. We've found that having a strong lion den leader identified in advance of the scouting year really helps, because therefore then you can introduce prospective parents to that person, right? So they know who it is that their son or daughter will be working with. And then lastly, use a Journey to Excellence model to just continuously help improve your unit. So this presentation can be found online at ppcbsa.org. If you go, this is the home screen. Once you come here, if you go to programs and then in the dropdown, recruiting and membership, you will find what we've condensed and streamlined the content here to make sure it's most impactful to you, right? So a short video. There is a more detailed membership plan for the council. But if you scroll down to this part right here, recruiting for Cub Scouts, you'll find this presentation as well as the other key documents to make your recruiting process as easy as possible. If you have any questions, please feel to reach out to me. My email and mobile contact information will be included in this email. Be happy to answer any questions at any point in time. Thank you for watching this video, and good luck in recruiting.